Alright, everybody, welcome back to Regular Talk, episode 24, which is going to coincide with number 23. Very big episodes for my life. 23 talking about my adventure going to Fort Wayne, Indiana to see my family, most of them that I have never met before. One person in particular being my little brother. Everybody here kind of knows him by now. Bolton, the one that I'm extremely close with. Actually, a little photo album here, right here that I've got from my mom that she made for me during my adventure there, featuring some great moments there. And I always keep this right by me, actually, now whenever I come back and I'm doing work or playing games, stuff of that nature. So there's really no great way to jump into this video. I'm not gonna lie, guys, after I posted my podcast, I had no idea what I was gonna do. I was like, how do you follow up with such a big life-changing moment, and what's next? And then I posted the video of the surprise of him seeing me at the airport. Bolton had no clue I was coming in. I felt bad for a bit because I was lying, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be at the beach during the weekend, and then and then I just he calls me every day, of course, and they called me like 8 times before I got there, and I just had to ignore it every single time, which always feels bad because I'm kind of like, oh, I'll kind of piece together, kind of figure it out. And that's why I was probably like, what's going on? Dom's not answering, and it made it just that much more worth it. I'm glad that no one really started crying when I got off the airplane. And I just leaped down the stairs. I didn't even take the escalators down. I ran down the stairs of the airport and was greeted by family, gave them big old hugs. And first person I see is my nephew. He runs up, gives me a little hug. My sister, my cousins, my little brother Cole, my dad. And then that's when I walk around the corner, and you have that wholesome, pure moment of Bolton looks back to his mom like, is this real? And it's where he gets the thing of saying, I'm never letting go. And it felt nice. Everything went great, almost too great. Like nothing bad happened. Everything throughout the week it just went perfect. I felt like I wouldn't have it any other way. And saying goodbye is hard, but we'll get to that. I'll kind of just take it moment by moment. So plane ride was nice. I haven't flown since I was very little, before 9/11 essentially, so I would have no memory of it, definitely. And I know things have changed, but it was one thing I had to venture out on my own, and I was able to do that. And I'm still a little, I wouldn't say jet lag, but just tired, and a lot of sleepless nights, and a lot of energy I need to get back and whatnot. But and still kind of getting used to just being back here in North Carolina essentially. And we'll get into that. But so yeah, I go from Raleigh Airport to Chicago, and then I spent the longest 3 hours in Chicago, and all throughout the week I could just barely eat. At the Chicago airport, I tried my first ever Chicago style pizza. Pretty good. Thank you for the Chicagians, I think that's what they're called, Illinoisans. It was a pretty good pizza, even though I could barely eat because I was just so excited to get there. It was a bit expensive, by the way. It was like $10 pizza for like this big, but it was pretty layered, so it was probably worth it in that regard. I met a person there I talked to who looked like the dude from Until Dawn, the brother, the bad guy in the game essentially. And so I didn't really sit around talking to a whole bunch of people. I kind of he only came up to me to borrow my charger, so we talked for a bit. But yeah, plane ride was nice. Everything was nice. Like I said, I get to the Fort Wayne airport, and I'm just instantly greeted. Everybody it felt like welcome home, essentially, and that felt really nice. And in a weird way, it felt like that was home. Like all these other places I've been to has kind of just been like a stepping stone, a little part of my life here and there, but that felt like maybe that's where I need to be. And I don't know, only time will tell in that regard. But so, Bolton just looks at me, and he says, "Are you real?" He's like, "Is this a dream?" And I'm like, "Trust me." I'm like, "I feel the same way, buddy. It doesn't seem real, because it wasn't just 5 to 6 years for me. It was 5 to 6 years for, my brothers, for Cole and Bolton. It was 5 to 6 years for my dad. And I think out of most of us, it definitely impacted Bolton and I the most, because we're so close. And that's what hurt. And the more I talk about this, the more it's less of a care about myself, essentially. And it's just I truly believe you have to care less about yourself and more about someone else. I know there will be people all over that refute that and be like, you need to care about yourself the most and whatnot before you care about others. And I don't know if that's true. Like, I personally, as a person, don't think that's true, because I give my all and all my inspiration, determination, and my passion into making sure my brother grows up the person he needs to be, and being there for him, because I see how much he's never hurt me. That's the thing. He's one of the people who, well, I shouldn't say he's never hurt me, because we'll get some stories of it. He beat the crap out of me while I was there. I got some bruises, and he felt bad about it too. But he's a little brother. He's rambunctious. What are you gonna do? And he means no ill will, essentially. So that way. And I just see how much I mean to him and how much he means to me, and just that bond that is really hard to explain. I don't think I could relate to like anybody in that regards of the situation I was put in, or just the way I live my life, the driving point of my life being my little brother, and being the best big brother possible to him. Even though I have all these other siblings, I just think how well we've bonded is just something really special. And it doesn't mean I don't love my other siblings. I definitely love them a ton, But let's get into some of the stories. So I was there from Sunday to Sunday. I'm recording this on Wednesday. Yeah, so I let a couple days go by for recording this, and you guys will probably see this, if not Wednesday, then on Thursday, and maybe even Friday. Depends where I really want to put this video up for everybody. I definitely had a point where I didn't know what I was going to do next. I didn't know if I was going to leave it at that video of the airport, or if I was going to have a live stream, or what. And things are changing. It's getting crazy. Like, I just don't know really what to do next. I'm making a lot of decisions pretty fast, but things need to kind of be that way, because I want to be there on Christmas morning to see my brother open some presents. Like, as much as that will hurt some people, I need that in my life. I want to be able to say that I was there, But so let's get into it. Sunday is just, I want to relax. Not gonna happen, Everybody's so excited to see me. We go back to my brother's house, and we get ready and change. We have like a little pool party, and instantly just get in the pool, having a fun time, right? Jumping in, and we're chilling, talking, and yeah, it's instantly like 100 miles per hour plus, and it was great. You know, later that night, telling embarrassing stories about Bolton when he was younger, and might actually have some great Bolton stories here too. So I know if he's watching this in the future, buddy, I'm sorry for embarrassing you, but definitely got some great stories while I was there. I've cherished forever. And so yeah, that was Sunday. Monday rolls around. We kind of take it calm. It's relaxing, and let's see. My sister comes by. Taylor. We have a little party. Not really a pool party. Pizza party. I could like they. This is the thing that I worried about. I talked about this with Jeremy, and the week before. I pretty much ghosted everybody. I didn't talk to anybody at all, and you know, I wanted to be very much like get as much time as possible there, and I did. You know, I didn't feel like it went by fast. Didn't feel like it went by slow. Felt like it went by just right, essentially. And I talked to Jeremy. I said, I don't know, like, you know, a bit of picky eater, like, is, you know, am I gonna be able to eat anything and whatnot? I said, I'm gonna have such a small stomach. Am I gonna want to eat anything? And he told me, he said, well, remember, he's like, they're your family. He's like, they're probably the reason why you have this, you know, unique taste in food and everything. And I said, yeah. I said, you're probably right in that regard, buddy. I said, so I'll keep that in mind. And it really was true. You know, everything, you know, whether it be Papa John's, you know, some pizza or some queso, you know, the one thing I tried was zucchini bread. I was like, that's pretty good. Five Guys, Dairy Queen, just everything in between, salad, cake, even have my favorite cookies. Like, I didn't tell them this. This just happened. I was like, it's crazy, you know? And yeah, so Monday was a bit more probably relaxed compared to every day. Tuesday we chill, and there's this really wholesome moment when I'm just, you know, sitting down, relaxing with my brother, and he's not wanting to have like a Nerf battle or run around, do karate, wrestle. Like, he just wants to sit there and listen to music, and to see him like really like my music taste was really cool. And him asking about like AJR, Burn the House Down, and like Zombie, and just like Linkin Park, and you know, and not many people knew, but there's a song by The Fray called Cable Cars, or Over My Head, and it kind of like that's the song of my life, probably. I always would think it'd be something like Linkin Park, but it's probably that song of just, you know, in over my head, and just like, what's he thinking? You know, why would this person throw everything aside for someone else? Why would he, you know, why would he travel out of his comfort zone? And like I said, just over my head. And it was primarily for Bolton. It was to see my younger brother, and I can't get over that bond that we hold. It's just very valuable, and I never want it to break, essentially. And you know, he liked that Maroon 5, some old school stuff there. And to get back to that song, Over My Head by The Fray, another reason it's so special is because I was never told Bolton was born. This was something I just discovered, like in the dawn of Facebook, and I saw images of my dad and Bolton's mom, and you know, I came across this picture, and I just instantly, like, I saw myself in a mirror, and it just clicked, and everything, like, from that point on of being 14 or 15, I was like, dang, I was like, I see myself, you know. And I don't know, everything just kind of pieced itself together since then, you know. I always tell people, I said, you want to find something worth living for, and for me, it was Bolton, and you know. But let's take into Tuesday. So Bolton has football practice, which eats up about 6 hours of my time, 2 hours for 3 days, and would have been an hour on Friday, but we didn't. He didn't go to Friday. Moral of the story is on this one: as much as I'm wearing North Carolina Panthers hat and shirt, most definitely not a fan of how much time football has taken up, and it was really hard to like not be Big Brother mode. Seeing him fall down and get exhausted and everything, like to cause a scene essentially, and to go up there and be like, "You got this, buddy," or anything like that. Because my brother sticks out, and I'll put it like that essentially, and you guys can kind of figure out what I mean. But he sticks out. Being a scrawny white kid like me also. But it's funny. There's this moment when we're chilling and we're listening to a song called "Weak" by AJR, and Bo looks at me. He's like, "I'm weak. What's wrong with that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, buddy." I'm like, "Exactly." I call it we're weak strong. Like we're pretty strong-willed humans, but we're weak. There's this picture I got also of right here. It's just me and Bolton showing off our non-existent muscles, and yeah, we're weak. A lot of you guys might be looking at this picture here with the neon green jacket, and a lot of people recognize me for that, and that's kind of been like a symbol of who I am for the longest time. But I passed that jacket down. I don't have it anymore. I gave it to Bolton, and it just felt so right. Of course, it's a little too big for him, but we all grow into things, and I know he'll grow into that, and So yeah, the iconic green and white like track jacket, call it the racer jacket sometimes. It's gone. I don't think you'll ever see me wear it again. I gave it to him, and it's funny. Like, I didn't tell anybody I was gonna do it, but like my sister back in North Carolina and my buddy Zach, Uncrowned Hero. Some of you guys might know him. He was like, "You gonna give him the jacket?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I don't know how you guys know this, but I had that feeling, So, his mom asked before I left. She was like, "You have everything?" And I said, "Yeah, I have everything that I need." And I left that behind. But so let's take it into Wednesday. That Tuesday night we stay at my sister's house, and it was a great time. I reminded myself of Battlefield 5 wasn't bad. We played some Battlefield 5. It was pretty good. Played some Blackout mode multiplayer, and it felt good to play a game that was not Fortnite, because we played a good bit of Fortnite while I was there. Of course we did. I played some other games too. Played like Mario Tennis. DC Universe Online on the Switch came out, which was really fun. Played Warframe. So I spent an absurd amount of money on V-Bucks, and what was it? Wednesday. There's also this moment where we go to the mall, and I don't know if you guys ever have bought like a toy for a child, and they use it against you. But there's a moment where I buy a Fortnite silenced pistol from the game. It has the silencer on it. It says shh on the side, has Fortnite logo, all that at GameStop. And first thing Bolton does, puts a Nerf bullet right in there, shoots me right in the air. And I'm like, so, and the thing hurts more without the silencer, by the way. So he usually doesn't have the silencer on it. It's more of just like the gray pistol from Fortnite instead of the silenced one. There's a video we wanted to make, actually, like a Fortnite brother versus brother Nerf battle video, but we never ended up doing it. Actually, while we were there, You know, it would have been cool to do. You guys probably really would have enjoyed it. I think it would have been a good memory. But I think just running around, like, shooting each other Nerf guns, you know, like, that was already, you know, fun enough and cool. And man, he shot me a lot in, like, the face and the ear. And aside from just, like, I took a beating, you know, a good bit for my brother. And I wouldn't trade for anything, no matter, like, how bad it was. You know, there's this moment where Bolton's sleeping right next to me, and he wakes up. He's, like, sleeping, like, right here, like, on my shoulder. He wakes up and he just elbows me right in the chest. I'm like, you know, because pretty much every single night Bolton, like, passed out right next to me, and it was just really wholesome, except for the part where he moves around a lot when he sleeps, and he just lifts his head up and just smacks it right on my jaw or on my chest. And I'm like, buddy, like, that hurt a lot. But nah, I wouldn't trade back, you know, the wholesomeness, the pureness of that moment, you know, as much as it hurt. And as much, like, everything, all the soreness, like, it didn't hit me till, like, Monday, essentially, when I got back. So like the morning after I woke up, I guess, all the soreness and everything. And yeah, but Wednesday, we go tomahawk throwing, and it's funny because there's this moment where you know, I have to sign a waiver for Bolton. My middle brother Cole has to lie and say he's 21. But of course Bolton couldn't do that, so I had to write down, like, add a couple years. I put Bolton as, like, 11, so he could tomahawk throwing, and yeah, I had to sign, like, a waiver in case anything happened to him, and I was responsible. And of course everybody knew I was, just by looking at us, you know. And then you know, I was like, where's Bolton at? And he's just like, my sister's like, I don't know. He was like saying his stomach hurt. So I was like, Bolton, you okay? I went to the bathroom. I was like, Bolton, you okay? He's like, yeah. And you know, eventually he came out and went to go tomahawk throw. And this kid who, like, just like 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago was just, like, sick on his stomach because we went and had queso, which is funny. It's like looking in the mirror. I actually had queso last night. It was a big queso boy. And, you know, seeing him eat all this queso and everything, I'm like, that's my boy right there. I was like, that is my dude. You know, he is so funny. It's great. And I definitely hope that he mellows out and chills out. Because I will say, Cole's a lot like me now when it comes to being mellow, cool, relaxed. In the teenage years, I don't think I was really ever hyper in my, you know, childish years, essentially. But I really hope Bolton mellows out in that, because if not, we're going to have some fun times, everybody. He might be the reason that I get into a bunch of fights with everybody and whatnot. He's very defensive, too. You know, like, just a night ago or 2 nights ago, there were some kids, like, being really toxic on Fortnite. And he's like, don't say that to my brother. And just, like, I'm like, dude, like, you have to know when to walk away from, you know, the toxicity of people. And he's really defensive for me. I'm, you know, rightly so. I'm very defensive about him, but I also try to watch my language and stuff like that. Like, I only cussed one time in front of him while I was there, and that's when he shot me right in the ear. I was like, and he was like, he just looks heartbroken, you know, whenever I accidentally said a curse word. And I was like, you shot me right in the ear, dude. I was like, I deserve that one, you know. And you know, it's trying to be a good influence, essentially. But yeah, no, so this kid, while we're tomahawk throwing, me and my middle brother Cole, you know, of course, a boxer, athletic, and extremely talented. Him and I, you know, as big as we are and older and much strength we can put into it, we had 15 tries. We couldn't get the tomahawk one time to stick. Bolton, who is 8 years old, a scrawny white kid, 6 times out of 15 got this thing to stick. And he was just popping them off left and right. And I'm like, dude, you know, like 5-10 minutes ago, yeah, you were sick, you were saying your belly hurts, all that, because you had so much queso. And now you're kicking butt on tomahawk throwing. And it's just like, wow, you know? But, so yeah, there's that. And then I went to Costco and my brothers the entire time. It was crazy. Like, it's funny. Like, my sister Taylor, and Christian got my nephew Ziggy. She's total mom mode. She's great. I love her. We instantly clicked, and I've never seen her since I was 2. And she's a little bit older than me, like only like 3 or 4 years older than me. But yeah, we instantly clicked, and it was great. It was just like a great pal, but it's my sister, you know. And you know, we're going around Costco and just picking up things, and my brothers are like, "Hey Dom," they're like, "Can you pick us up a sample?" So, and Cole goes and just eats a toothpick by accident when he gets a sample. I don't know what Bolton's doing. I really risked it. One thing I was told was like, "Oh, don't let anyone have your phone. You know, be careful with it." I go to TSA. I drop my phone on the ground instantly. The entire time, Bolton has my phone. So if you're one of those people who he's called or harassed, aka Oz, I'm very sorry, because there's a moment where Oz was like, "I miss you, Bolt," and I was like, "Oh, I miss him too." Bolton looks at me. He's like, "No, I miss you because I haven't seen you for 5 or 6 years." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm calling him right now." I'm like, "Why are you calling Oz?" He calls Oz at like 5 o'clock in the morning. This is like the Monday after I get there, and it was funny. It was great. Oz didn't answer until later, you know, but he was like, "Hey, you need something?" I was like, "No, it was Bolton calling." So now you know. So there's your apology for that one, being almost you know, awake at 5 a.m. to be yelled at by my little brother. But yes, we're going to Costco. They're like, Bolton wants me to like carry him around, or he's doing some like weird like walk with one foot, walk with another foot. I don't know. Kids can be weird sometimes. People probably looking at us in Costco like these are like the 2 closest brothers, but like they're really tight, but like they're also like a big distraction from people who just want to get their darn groceries, you know. And yeah, it was just fun running around, you know, all the siblings running around Costco. And yeah, so pretty much that was it for Wednesday. I know I'm probably forgetting some things here or there. Thursday rolls around. Bit of a slower day. I really can't remember too much of what happened Thursday. One thing that I do remember is that we were listening to music, and we were listening to I Fall Apart by Post Malone. And Bone looks at me. He starts crying a bit. I'm like, "What's wrong, buddy?" He's like, "I just missed you." And you know, I said, "I miss you too, buddy." I said, "You know, this song gets to me." I said, "Because I fall apart without you, dude." I said, "But I don't have to worry with that anymore." I said, "I'm here." I said, "You know, I'm here. I'm going to come back, and I'm not going anywhere." And, you know, that big old hug he gave me, I think he could see, you know, I think by the end of me saying that I'm coming back, that there's so much will, so much determination that I can't let this be a one-off, you know. And as much as people are telling me, you know, you can come back, you can visit, you know, whenever, I know that always can't be the way. I said I have to change things, you know. Before this point, I was saying I can't let this be an online relationship or an online brotherhood, online friendship, essentially. And getting there, then it became like, I gotta get back. I don't know what it's gonna take. And the determination, it's through the roof right now. I gotta do whatever I can to get back by Christmas, you know. And like, that was the promise I kind of made to him and made to myself, you know. And it felt good. It stung a lot, you know, whenever he gave me that hug. Is we're just listen to Post Malone, you know, I Fall Apart. And you know, he said, "I miss you. Yeah, I miss you so much." And he's like, "Can I live with you 5-6 years?" And so I was like, "You can't do that." And he's like, "Okay, what at 1 year?" And everybody's saying, you know, just take him with you, or everybody, you know, is being nice. They're like, you know, if anything happens, you know, you can always stay here. Even my great Aunt Betty, you know, in her almost 80s, was saying, "You can live with me at the retirement home," and whatnot. And it's like, it's just very heartwarming, and it means a lot. But yeah, I definitely a lot of emotions, a lot of tears throughout the last week, and I definitely haven't cried this much since Johnny's accident, and it's where I talked about with Buster. You guys probably know him from a bunch of Arma videos, Gmod videos, stuff like that, and with his grandma passing away, I said don't go through the paranoia or the fear of death, of who you're gonna lose next. Because I think that was my biggest problem. I think the last couple years of, I let that kind of control me and kind of just like shelter me down a bit, and I wasn't ready to take like really any risk. And I think now I'm like, let's go, let's go for it. And but Thursday was chill. Friday rolls around. We go to my dad's house and spend the night, and it was nice. It was only us. It was only me and my two brothers and my dad, and we go to Dairy Queen, and apparently, life advice here, guys. If you go, my brother asked me. He's like, can I get a meal instead of ice cream? And I was like, I know we're kind of cutting money. I was like, so I won't get an ice cream, but you can have the meal, and then I'll just share like a chicken tender or two with you, and we'll have the drink or whatever. Because I know meals can be expensive. Apparently, the meal didn't come with a drink, by the way. So yeah, we got my brother like an Oreo, or like a chocolate milkshake. My dad like an orange Slurpee, and Bolton the chicken strip meal, and and then I said just a medium drink or whatever for me, and I was like, does he get him a drink or whatever? And she's like, no, we're not really allowed to, but we'll give him one anyway. So I get my drink cut to like a small, because he gets a free drink. Technically, I don't know, but whatever. So there's that one for you guys. Is it's a bit of a perk, I guess, with the little brother getting a free drink, but I get a smaller drink anyways. But whatever. Cole looks at me and he's like, you're letting Bolton have Mountain Dew? And I'm like, huh? I'm like, I didn't think anything of it, I'm just like, he starts getting to think of Mountain Dew, and then Cole says something, and he's like, no, I'm not getting Mountain Dew. And I'm like, I don't know, like, like, you guys gotta remember, I'm gonna be up as long as he's up, keeping me up. So like, that's not really your guys' problem essentially right now. Like, next week, yeah, week before it was, yeah. But this week, it's kind of all me right now, because 98% of the time, Bolton was right by my side. He was my wingman. We went to the zoo also with my sister, and I was like, who wants some Dippin' Dots? Because I haven't had it in forever, since I used to go to ice hockey games, and which was since I was like 14, and Bolton was like, yeah, I do, and then it kind of rallied everybody else, and Cole was like, yeah, I'm like, Bolton, I'm like, dude, fist pump, like, you're a wingman, dude. I was like, yeah, thank God somebody was like instantly for the Dippin' Dots ice cream, which was really expensive. Like, shoot, guys, like, I don't even know how to explain this. Like, I know it was at a zoo and things already priced are jacked up, but $20 for 3 small Dippin' Dots, what the heck? This adulting thing is not cheap, guys. Like, shoot, at least they gave me free food on the airplane. But so yeah, we chilled there in the Dairy Queen for a little bit, not too long to get my dad worried. But Dairy Queen has some really good chicken tendies, by the way, guys. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but yeah, they're really good. I would say better than Burger King. I was like, what? I was like, these are good. So I don't know, maybe it's because I just hadn't ate much, because like I said, I'm a guy who can knock out an entire Papa John's pizza, like a large and extra large, and probably like a day, you know, just for the entire day. That's all I could eat. While I was there, I could maybe have one slice the entire day. I just couldn't eat much. I think nerves were high, and just being there, the excitement, just everything going on. And yeah, guys, it just, I don't know. I could barely eat at all. And I remember Bolton, what was it? There's one day, I had like a cake or something like that, and you know, I was like just slowly eating it, just talking, and Bolton just takes a big old like chop with a fork and like just like hands it to me. He's like, "Eat this." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "'Cause you haven't ate nothing, Dom." And I'm like, I always joked around. I said, Bolton, I said, "You gotta take care of me." I said, "Because I'm taking care of you right now." He's like, "I will." I was like, "I hope so." So yeah, Saturday rolls around, and there's that moment. I didn't sleep good at all Friday. It was me, and then Bolton slept like right on top of me on the couch. Didn't want to sleep on the floor. There's just like nowhere else to sleep. He slept right on top of me, and I felt like squeeze out without waking him up, and I just like sit on the couch, and I'm just like sitting up there straight, and I look at my phone, and that was like when it dawned on me I had to get my ticket all confirmed, and it really hurt. I I look over, and I just see how happy it's made everybody, not just me or Bolton, but you know, my dad, my sister, Bolton's family, my extended family, Cole, my nephew, Declan was there, if you guys know him from the My Hero video we did. Like now we just say like he's my cousin, you know. like it just, everybody like was family. It felt like family. And it just really sucked when I had to go and check in for the plane ride for Sunday, and I just had that moment of just, I looked at Bolton, and you know, he wasn't awake at the time. He was just there, just mouth open. He's like, he's still awake, or not awake, but he's just mouth open, you know, sleeping, and it was really hard. I don't know how I did it, but I checked in, and I said, well, one step closer to leaving. And then, you know, eventually he woke up, and he asked, he's like, "Do you have to leave today?" I said, "No, buddy." I said, "Not today." I said, "Today's my last full day, you know, because I'll leave early in the morning. But I said, let's make it the best day ever." You know, and he was already excited. Like when I first got there, he was like, "How long you stay in?" I'm like, "A whole week." I'm like, "Up until you start school," because he started school, and you know, that Tuesday, and so it was the best. You know, it was probably the best summer ever for us, and probably the best week ever, and the best days ever, and yeah, it just, I didn't want to think about it all while I was there, and you know, the last couple days, you know, especially the very last day, you know, really hit hard. But Saturday we kind of celebrated birthdays and whatnot, and we got a surprise from Haig. Haig actually showed up at my it was a birthday party for Cole, Bolton, myself, and my sister's two brothers. Kind of celebrated all the birthdays at once of all of her brothers. She made all the cakes. She had 21 cupcakes for me, and it was so nice. I can't thank her enough for it, and she was very helpful for that. And you know, it felt so nice. And my Uncle Kent was there, which I hadn't seen since 6 years ago, one of the last people I saw. So we really talked, and it was funny. There's a moment where Bolton's Bolton. He can, like, some moments be crazy, and some moments he's like, I don't want to deal with people. Maybe I'm like that way in some ways. I don't know. I'll have to ask my friends and be like, some moments I'm like all like a big group of people. Some moments I'm just like small group of people. Some people are just like nobody. And there's a moment where he didn't want to deal with anybody. He just ran out to the car. And I told my Uncle Kent, I said, well, some things never change from 5-6 years ago. I said, let me do the big brother thing. And I had to have a couple big brother talks while I was there. And I go out to the car. I'm like, what's wrong, buddy? He's like, oh, I'm arguing with cousin and Taylor's brothers. I'm like, buddy, I'm like, I'm here. I'm like, you can always chill with me. I said, don't be rambunctious. I said, be careful because Ziggy's there and he's like 2. He's like, I know. I'm like, so, just hop out of the car, buddy. I said, don't lock yourself in the car. I said, it's really hot outside and just have a good time. And he listened. And forgot to say, before that, actually, on that Friday, we went to breakfast where Bolton's sister works at. It was really good, and one of the few people I felt like just connected and instantly knew why I did what I did. I don't know if his sister told her, but it was just like, she asked what brought me to town. I pointed to Bolton. She's like, I could tell. She's like, the way that you look at him and he looks at you, and the way that just you two look alike and everything. She said, I can see that's why. And I was like, yeah. And we went to like a little park, and they had like a little water area. I was not dressed to get thrown in the water. Me and Bolton just ran right in there. I didn't care. You have nothing to lose. His aunt was there, and she's great. Like I said, when I first got there, she didn't say much. I was worried she didn't like me by the end of it. It just, even like his side of family that wasn't like blood to me, they just felt like family, and everyone's so nice, and I really appreciate it a lot. The memories the family made, and that's the thing, is not, even if people aren't blood, they can be family. I truly believe that. And always blood isn't always family, but I'm very lucky to say that I really get along with all of my family, essentially, blood and non-blood, essentially. And it was such a great time. And but yeah, Haig made it in. We had a great time. We didn't get to spend too much time together because he drove like 3.5 hours, 1.5 hours in the wrong direction. They had to go around and make 2 hours. And we talked and said, hey, what's up? And rode with him back to take my great aunt back to the retirement home. Then he came back to my dad's house. We chilled for a bit before I had to leave. We played Plague Inc. off of his phone, which was really nice. And then, as that came winding down, we went back to my brother's house. We played some basketball. Your boy is the worst at sports. So is Declan. So, and it was me, Declan, and my cousin Landon, and versus Cole and Bolton, because Bolton just ditched me at that moment. He's like, I want Cole on my team, because he was like, if we're gonna play basketball, he's like, I want to win. And I'm like, well, you still could have had me on your team, but we had to even it out a bit, because they were like, we'll give Declan and Landon Dom because he's taller, and Bolton will have Cole because he's athletic and tall. Keyword is and. All right, I was just taller. I didn't have any athletic ability there, and yeah, it was fun. I'm not good at basketball or football or any sports. I can fake it sometimes and make it. I'm pretty fast though. There's a moment where Bolton ran off on his bike. He got all mad at his sister, and I chased him down, and I caught up to him. While he was on his bike, I ran. So I definitely had the cardio there, surprisingly. And there's this moment where we go over to Landon's grandpa's house, and me and Declan jump a fence, which apparently we didn't need to, but it was dark at night. We couldn't really see where we were going. We jumped a fence, and I buckled my knee. But I was just so adrenaline mode, so just like I felt over 100%. And then we jump over like a little river, scrape my knee a little bit again, but I just kept chugging on, and felt alive, very much alive. And so yeah, and then like the final hours was just went, got in the pool, jump, splash in the pool, chill out, played some Smash Bros, played some Rocket League, and then you know, just passed out, and then woke up early in the morning Sunday, and you know, it was really hard. It was like 4:30, had to wake Bolton up. So of course Bolton was right beside me, so I kind of woke him up, and he kind of woke up and then he fell back asleep. So I'll give him like 5 more minutes. Woke Declan up on the couch, and he was easy to wake up, and Bolton's mom was all ready and geared to go, and woke Bolton up, and you know, I don't think it didn't hit him until after I left. He said, because we were saying our goodbyes, we got to the airport, and it was really rough because on the way to the airport he passed out again, like on my shoulder, and there's this moment where I'm just giving a big old hug, and I'm kind of just like, this is life, this is what it is, guys, and this is kind of, never would have expected this, and you know, I thank Bolton's mom for everything throughout the week. I thank my dad for everything throughout the week. I give Declan some life advice and say, hey, don't drive your mom crazy, you know, and single mom working hard for you. I said, don't drive her crazy. I said, you're a good kid, stay out of trouble, all that. And I get to Bolton, there's so much I want to say, but the words won't come out. I said, because it's just really hard looking at, you know, it was just really hard looking at Bolton, having to not necessarily say goodbye, but I give him a big old hug, and just like tears run down my face, and I say, Bolton, I say, I will be back. I said, I love you more than anything else, buddy. I said, I'll be back. And yeah, I give him a big hug. We take a picture, and I leave. I go to get on the plane. The entire way through, I'm just a train wreck, and just go through TSA crying. The guy who checks my ID, I told him, I said, one of the hardest things to do is say is goodbye. He looks at me, he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. Go through TSA crying, walking through the airport crying, and I just got my hat down, and I get a picture of just 5 minutes ago of Bolton and I, and you know, I'm just sitting there, go through the airplane, just got my hat down, looking at the picture, trying to pass out, can't do it. It's not really till I get to Chicago where I kind of chill out a bit, but yeah, it's sad because, you know, but at least later that Sunday things kind of returned a little bit to normal. You know, Bolton calls me before I even get home, and he's like, you home yet? He's like, I want to play games. I'm like, yeah. And as we're playing games, he's like, Dom. I'm like, what? He's like, when you left, he's like, I cried in the car. I'm like, it's like, yeah, buddy. It's like, I didn't know, you know, when it was gonna hit you that I was gone. I said, but I told you earlier in the week. I said, you know, he was being rough. I said, boy, I said, you're gonna regret being mean to me. I said, when I leave, and you know, it sucks, guys. It really does suck, given the circumstances, and kind of just deal with the cards you're dealt, and yeah, but so that was the one thing, like, as wholesome it is to see like how much he cared also, it's that I didn't want him to go through the sadness of completely realizing that I had left, you know. But I think what made it better and not as rough for him and for me also, for me it's just saying goodbye and having that time pass by until we meet again. You know, even though we'll see each other, like literally we talked to each other before I even got back to my house in North Carolina. to play games and just chill. You know, it's just he knows I'm gonna be back. That's the key thing. So I think that makes it a lot better. And it's funny, like now I always see him running around with my jacket, and it's even more looking in the mirror now. It really is a mini me, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I definitely love all the family that I have back here in North Carolina, all the family back in West Virginia, and all the family that I've met and rekindled with in Indiana. Bolton, though, I don't know, guys. You know, we're in it for the long shot for that one. I'm gonna need all you guys to help me out when it comes to helping them to to get them off this Fortnite addiction, to show them some better games, to you know, just be there to make him the best person that he can be. And you know, I definitely put 100% and try the hardest when it comes to him, because he matters the most. And I don't know, I guess ever since I was younger at least, I wanted to be like the best big brother to my little brother, and I couldn't be that to Cole. But throughout this week we really bonded, and I could be one, so that helps. And of course I'm already, you know, a great big brother to Bella. And you know, Taylor, of course, the oldest sister, and she's been great helping me out. So I'm giving all to make Bolton the best. And I think Bolton definitely needs it the most, because that kid can be a handful, guys. 8-year-olds are a handful. And man, I don't know, guys, but I know I definitely missed a lot of people throughout this video. I want to thank a lot of my friends. The only person I really talked to was Patches throughout the week. I know Ben was Bolton messaged Ben and Goof, and he was, you know, saying, I like AJR, and he was like, is this you, Bolt? He's like, no, it's Bolton. And you know, just waiting for him to be like, I like Weezer too, or something like that. But yeah, guys, thanks for just all the friends along the way. All the friends have helped out. This isn't the end by a long shot. I'm pretty sure there'll be more podcasts like this, and you know, got a lot to do. And so almost an entire hour of just pouring, just ripping out my heart and showing it to you guys for the last week. And I appreciate it. Thanks for everyone who's lasted this long and heard my last 7 days. And the question is, what do we do now? I know some things won't change in regards of, I'm still going to talk to Bolton pretty much every single day. More determined to get, you know, better financially and get jobs and better opportunities in that regard. But it's just, I want to be there, and it's not necessarily just I want to live my life and see my life experiences. I want to be able to be there for his, you know. So I don't ever say that his brother wasn't there. So, especially someone that I can see that he cares for me so much, and I care for him a lot too. But I told you guys it'd be a lot of Bolton, and it's the funny way, because as I was getting there, his sister messaged me and was like, you don't know how excited he's gonna be, because all he ever says is Dom. And I think it's so much fun just growing up with your best friend who's your brother, and just seeing like where could life like take us. Like, could we start a business? Like, could we be the masterminds behind something, you know? And like, could we invent something that people need? Could we, you know, who really knows what life could bring us. And it'll be so much fun, you know, to see, you know, when I have kids and then when he has kids, and just hopefully still be close and everything. And it's crazy. So, you know, I always grew up, and I said I always had friends here and there, but now I truly feel like I have like a best friend. And it's the weirdest feeling too, like I said, just growing up, you know, or helping your best friend grow up. I don't know, guys. Life's weird. Life's crazy. And but that's we're gonna end it here, guys. I gotta wrap this video up, or else I'll never shut up. And thanks everybody. And we'll continue our regularly scheduled programming probably next week, throughout the week. I don't know. I'll get something for you guys. I might stream for a bit before I get more content out there. And yeah, so peace out.